Hello again, gamers. Welcome back to the Board Game Captain. I'm the Captain.
And I'm Alex.
And today we're going to be reviewing and telling you about and showing you how to play Feud, the Seer's Prophecy. So to start off, I want to give a big thank you to the designer, Joachim Engfors, for sending us this copy of Feud, the Seer's Prophecy to play and film some content with. So big thank you. This game is not actually available yet. I do want to say that right at the beginning. This is going to be coming to Kickstarter in the near future. I'm going to have a link in the description down below to the website where you can sign up for their mailing list. So you know when it comes to Kickstarter, if anything we talk about in this review seems awesome to you, you should head over and sign up for the email list so you will be notified as soon as this game comes to Kickstarter.
Right.
But this is, according to the designer, this is what the production copies will be. So we can do a full review.
Yeah, absolutely. And impressive pre-production copy.
Well, that's what I'm saying. These are prototype copies from a manufacturer that he got them from. And this is exactly what he intends to manufacture. Before we get too started, though, I do want to say I've got a ton of links in the description down below that you can check out at your leisure. There's a link to BoardGameCaptain.com, which is a great hub for all things Board Game Captain. There's also a link to my Teespring store where you can get yourself some cool Board Game Captain merch, t-shirts, mugs, etc. And there's a link to my Patreon if you're in a position to and would like to support the channel. Because there is a part of the insert has a big wooden block in it, I don't want to put it too upright because I don't want that to fall out. So I'm gonna lean it over here and we're gonna talk about the fact that it says 2 players, ages 14 and up, and for 40 minutes. All right, so Alex, what do you think? Well, first off, 2 players, not much to talk about.
There's 1, 2, and that's it.
Yeah, this is specifically a heads-up game. Right. This is a kind of a card battle game.
At heart, it's a 2-player battle card game, or card battle game.
And then it's got some like engine building, a little bit of area control, sort of, and
hand management.
Yeah. So 2 players, not a whole lot to talk about there. That's exactly what it is. Ages 14 and up. I'm going to say yes.
Yes, that's 14 is. Yeah, that's a good age for this.
Because
10, 11, 12 is not going to like this game, I don't think.
There's a lot going on.
Right.
You've got, granted, none of the basic rules are very complicated. It's how a lot of the cards work together that makes it more advanced.
Right.
And you definitely, maybe if you're younger than 14, but you routinely get games above your age recommendation and you're in a house that plays a lot of board games, then okay, that'd probably be fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, there is a lot going on here.
Sure.
So so we're going to kind of say 14 on average. And then 40 minutes. Now I prefer a range, but 40 minutes is not a bad estimate.
It's not impossible for sure.
It's within the range that I would give.
I would say it's the lower end of the range for most people, but I think after you've played this a few times, you could definitely be getting down into the 40-minute range.
I feel like for me, the range, depending on how quick you are with your turns, I feel like the range should be between half an hour and an hour and a half. There can be a wide range because also depends on if you play aggressively or defensively.
Right. Yeah. 40 is a good number. I think it's the lower end of average though.
So now inside this box, we've got a big plastic insert with all the mats rolled up, as well as wooden chunky tokens and such. I'm going to show a bit of that up on the screen right now while we're talking about it, but also you're really just going to see it all out on the table while we're playing. That picture we showed up on the screen includes the big wooden block, which you use to organize all the cards, which greatly improves and speeds up setup and breakdown, which is very important. But yeah, without any further ado, I think we're going to head over to the table. We're going to run you through probably most of the game to really give you a feel for how this plays. And then we're going to come back and we're going to talk about how it plays and feels, and we're going to rate it and review it. Okay, so here we are set up to play a 2-player game of Feud, the Seer's Prophecy. So I'm going to be going first, and I am playing on this side of the table over here.
And I'll be going second, and I am over here.
So now to set up, you have to set up the 3 boards. Now the 2 boards you can see here on the table are our individual village playmats, each separated into different areas. Each village playmat is separated into a battlefield, wall, market, homestead, sacred grove, and graveyard. The 3rd board, which is the tavern playmat, is a bit off camera. I'm sure I'm showing a picture of it up on the screen, and that is where you keep track of your resources, your health, and draft all of your cards from. You have to place your leader on the diamond that crosses over between the market and the homestead area, and then you take the draft decks and randomly deal out cards to show your random starting units. There are 3 starting units that are available in every game, but the others are random, as well as you randomize what knowledge cards and what prophecy cards you start with. Those are split in half, and half of them are given to you and half are given to your opponent. One of the knowledge cards is then chosen by you and placed face down in your sacred grove. You take your 3 counters, and on your side of the tavern deck you place your health counter on the 10 space and your silver and insight on the 0 space. You decide who's going first, and whoever's going second will get 1 free silver and 1 free insight. And then you're all set up and ready to play the game of Feud, the Seer's Prophecy. So in this case, again, I'm going to be going first, so Alex got a free silver and an insight. And now, this is a really good game to sort of learn while we're playing and just showing you it. So we're just going to start running through turns and explaining each of the phases of the turns and the various actions we are doing as we do them. The first phase of the turn is the start of the turn, and really only takes effect if you have any cards out that have start of turn effects, which neither of us have yet. The next phase of the turn is the move phase. Now, during the move phase, any of your cards, any of your units that are in play can be moved to adjacent areas. Normally, units will sit in either the market, homestead, sacred grove, wall, or battlefield, and will move to an adjacent area. The leader, though, which is the only card we have out now, sits on the diamonds that cross over 2 areas, and they actually count as being in both areas. They can be moved to diamonds that are touching the areas they are currently partially in. So the leader right now could, if I wanted to, be moved to this diamond here, this one here, this one here, or this one here. But you know what? I think I'm going to keep them in the diamond they are in, so I'm going to move right past the movement phase. The third phase is the resource phase. Now, during the resource phase, you're going to collect first insight from the sacred grove. Now, I have no one in the sacred grove, so I cannot collect any insight. Then I'm going to collect silver from people in the market. My leader is partially in the market, which means I will get 1 silver increase to my silver reserve on my tavern board. The final of the resources is the draft resource, which allows you to take cards and possibly, if they are unit cards, put them straight into play. They can be brought into play anywhere on your village board other than the graveyard or the battlefield. Or I could draft more knowledge cards and put them face down in my sacred grove, and those would not have to be paid for. Or I could take prophecy cards, which go into my hand and also do not yet have to be paid for. Neither of those are paid for until I actually play them from my hand or activate them in the sacred grove. But I do want to get another unit because I need some more units to start helping me earn more of my resources. So I'm going to spend the 1 silver I just got, and I'm going to recruit a villager. Now, villagers are a very basic unit. They are one of the starting units that you always have in every game. They're not one of the ones that vary. They cost 1 silver, they have no attack, they have 1 health. But they are a great, cheap way to get another guy to help you get more resources, which is why I'm going to place my villager directly in my market, which means every turn I'm going to get an additional silver from now on. Now, the next phase would be the battle phase, but you only do the battle phase if you have units in the battlefield, which I do not. Then we have the end of turn phase, which just triggers if I have end of turn abilities, which again I do not, so I'm done with my turn, and now it will be Alex's turn.
Okay, so again, no start of turn effects right now. We'll go to directly the resource phase. I will get a silver from the market, and I can recruit a unit. So with my 2 silver, I'm going to also recruit a villager, and that's going to cost me my...
It only costs you 1 silver, though.
1 silver, and I'm going to put that villager in the market as well. I think it's a good time to build up resources right now.
All right, so is that it for your turn?
That'll do it.
All right, so for my turn, speeding right along, I'm just going to skip ahead to the resource phase because I don't really have anything before that. During my resource phase, I now get 2 silver since I have my leader partially in the market and my villager in the market. I still do not get, of course, any insight, and for the drafting of cards, I still can only draft a single card, and I am going to spend 1 of my 2 silver to draft my second villager. Now, each of the unit cards have 4 copies, and each player can only draft 2 of them. So this is the only other villager I will ever be able to draft. So very important note here, that this literally is the only villager I'm going to be getting, other than the first one, for the whole game. But I'm going to place this one in the Sacred Grove because I want to start getting some insight. So that's going to be it for my turn. I'm going to pass it back over to Alex.
Okay, so again, right to the resource phase. I have 2 units in the market, so 1, 2 brings me up to 3 silver. No insight. I'm going to use my 3 silver, spend that down to 0.
Oh, you're getting a Berserker.
Grab the Berserker.
Now let's throw him out in the middle of the table there so we can have a look at him.
Yeah.
Berserker costs 3. He's got 3 attack, 1 health, and when a Berserker kills a unit, you get to deal 1 damage to your opponent's leader. Now again, units cannot be played straight to the battlefield, even though that is exactly where Berserkers do best. He will eventually have to move there during the movement phase, which happens before the resource phase. We've just been glossing over it, so he won't be able to move this round. The furthest up he could go is the wall if Alex wants to telegraph that he is in fact going to be attacking me with that Berserker right away. On the other hand, the Berserker could hold back and be used to gain more resources and later move up to the wall and then the battlefield if Alex wants to use them that way. So where is the Berserker going?
Berserker's going to fall back to the market briefly.
So he is not... Okay, I was a little worried he might be coming to the wall and therefore be about to attack me, but he's not. Alex just wants a really powerful guy for later for when he's going to attack me. So is that going to be it for your turn then?
That is currently it.
Okay. All right, so we're going to go to my turn. Again, skipping on my turn right ahead to the resource phase, but now I will be getting 1 insight, thankfully, because I really do need it. Our starting units, we have quite a few that have minimum insight requirements. Now, those minimum insight requirements on those units, those are not actually spent like the silver is spent when you buy those units. You just have to have that much insight to buy those units. There's also sometimes minimum insight requirements on your prophecy cards. The knowledge cards are the only thing where you spend insight from. Those are actual insight costs. So I get 1 insight, then I get 2 silver, and then I get to draft 1 card. I'm going to spend all 3 of my silver, and I am also going to purchase a Berserker, but I'm going to be more aggressive with my Berserker. My Berserker's going straight to the wall.
To the wall.
And now again, the movement phase had already passed before I even got my resources, so I'm not able to go to the battlefield with them this turn, but now Alex knows one is coming. And you don't want to get attacked without someone to defend against the attack. But this is a brilliant way to make sure your opponent has time to defend themselves when they know there is the danger of a unit moving up to possibly attack. So that is going to be it for my turn.
All right. So, start of the turn, I have no start of turn effects. I am going to move, however.
I thought you might.
I'm going to move my leader up.
Oh, you moved your leader for defense. Interesting.
Which still allows me to collect my resources and get another card. 2 there.
2 silver.
No more insight to be had.
You do get to you do get to get one draft card though. Are you going for another unit, or are you going to be drafting something else?
I believe I'm going to draft a villager, so I'm bringing that back down to 1. Taking my villager, putting him down in the Sacred Grove.
Oh, you're finally going to start getting a little bit of insight. Fair enough. All right, so on my turn, I'm going to move the Berserker into the battlefield. We all knew that was coming. Then I am going to get my 1 insight for my 1 villager in the Sacred Grove, and I'm going to get my 2 silver for my leader and my villager that are in the market. And then I'm going to get to draft a card because my leader is also in the homestead. I'm going to draft another knowledge card. Again, they get played face down into my Sacred Grove and do not actually take effect yet, though I do not actually have to pay for them yet until they do take effect. Then I'm going to move into the battle phase, at which point I'm going to declare that my Berserker is attacking. So it is up to Alex if he would like to defend with the leader. He's the only card Alex has that is either partially on the wall or battlefield. Partially because he's the leader, but only card he has that is on the wall or battlefield, and therefore the only card that could possibly defend.
Leader will block the Berserker's attack.
Now, blockers do not deal their damage to the enemy, but the attackers do deal their damage to the blocker. Now, the thing is, the leader has 2 armor. 1 because that's their natural ability, and 1 because they are on the wall. Because of this, the 3 attack is reduced by 2 down to only 1 attack because of the 2 armor, which means I will do 1 damage to the enemy leader.
All right, so I have no start of turn effects. I am not going to be moving. I have one card in the Sacred Grove, so I get one insight. And then I have 2 in the market, which gives me 2 silver. Going straight to the drafting of units. And I'm going to draft another Berserker.
Ooh.
Dropping my silver back down to 0, and the Berserker goes to the wall.
Oh. Well, I can definitely see what's happening here. And this is a little bit worrisome. My turn?
I don't have any, and yeah, your turn.
All right, so I have no start of turn effects. I'm going to get 1 insight for my villager in the Sacred Grove. I'm also going to get 2 silver for my leader and my villager in the market. Then I'm going to draft 1 card because my leader is partially in the homestead. I'm going to spend 3 of my silver to purchase a Hari Lurker. Now the Hari Lurker has Retaliate, which means that he actually can do damage if he defends. And he also has an Afterlife ability, which means it takes effect if he dies. The Afterlife ability is that you may add a wound marker to a target unit with a wound marker. I'm going to place my Hari Lurker straight up onto the wall. Then I am going to do the following effects from my cards out here in the Sacred Grove. First, I am going to spend 2 of my insight to get the Rune Inscription, which has the Foretold ability, which means it cannot be reacted to with an instant effect. And it says your knowledge cards cost 2 insight less to activate. Then I'm going to activate this other knowledge card for free because it would cost 2 insight. It also is Foretold. It is the Anticipation card, and it says prophecies you play cost 1 less silver, and when you play a prophecy, you gain an insight. I thought that was a fun combo to be able to slam them both out, but only after I had purchased my Hari Lurker because it had the requirement of 3 insight. Then I'm going to attack with my Berserker.
Going to block with my leader.
All right, so again, your leader will take 1 damage because of their 2 armor, blocking 2 of the possible attack from the Berserker. And then that's going to be it for my turn.
All right. So, no start of turn effects. I'm going to go straight into movement. I'm going to move a Berserker up, a Villager up to the market. The leader is going to come off the wall, go to the center space between the market and the homestead.
Oh, I see.
Then I'm going to collect 0 insight.
Right. But 3 silver.
3 silver. 1, 2, 3.
Very nice.
I get to draft a card.
Yes, you do.
Which I'm going to go from here.
So that's one of the... You're taking a prophecy for your
prophecy card.
Okay.
I'm going to be done for right now.
Interesting. Very interesting.
That was the way I was setting up my next turn.
That was a lot of movement.
Yeah.
Now, I just want to throw out there, I think the reason that Alex did not move his other Berserker down to the battlefield is now that I have my Hari Lurker up here on the wall, the Hari Lurker has a Retaliate ability, which means if the Berserker attacked and I defended with my Lurker, he would do 1 damage to the Berserker, killing them, whereas the Lurker would actually survive because it has 4 life and 1 shield being on the wall. It would only actually take 2 damage of its 4 life. Is that correct?
That is correct.
All right, well, then I did a good job defending my village here.
Correct.
So now, at the beginning of my turn, I also have no beginning of turn effects. I'm just going to go right on to the movement, where I am not going to move anybody. I actually have everybody exactly where I want them. So I'm going to skip along to the resource phase, where I am going to get myself 1 insight and 2 silver and draft a single card. For the draft, I'm going to take 1 particular card from my prophecies into my hand, and then I am going to immediately be playing said card. Now, this is a prophecy card, which with the anticipation ability up costs 1 less to play. It normally costs 3 to play, but now it only costs me 2, and it is Smite. And Smite says I can deal 2 damage to target unit. And I'm going to take out 1 of your Berserkers on the wall.
I'm going to interrupt.
Oh, go ahead.
I'm also at any time can play Anticipation.
Okay.
Which costs 2.
2 insight, yes.
And then my Smite card.
Which now costs you 2 silver.
Cost me 2 silver.
All right, so you're also going to be killing one of my guys, I imagine.
Correct.
All right, well, so which guy are you targeting?
I'm going to be targeting your Berserker since you were targeting. So that's what I'm saying. So we're going to end up killing each other.
Fair enough. So my Berserker will die. I'm going to place him back in my graveyard, but so will one of yours. But also, now that that has all taken effect in reverse order, like we just did, because Alex interrupted me to smite my Berserker first, I do get my effect from the anticipation that when I play a prophecy, I gain 1 insight. So my insight goes up to 3 insight.
As does mine.
For the same reason.
Yes.
Because we both have that same knowledge card out. Now, unfortunately, my battle phase is now null and void because Alex took out my Berserker before I got to my battle phase, so I was not able to attack with it. But that's going to be it for my turn.
All right, so start of turn. I don't have any start of turn effects. I'm going to move 1 villager down into my Sacred Grove.
Oh.
Giving me
1 insight.
2 silver, and I get to draft a
card.
I'm going to go with one of these cards.
Fair enough. That is the knowledge cards.
These are the knowledge cards, correct.
And that goes in the Sacred Grove, yes. So unplayed knowledge cards go in the Sacred Grove face down, but again, of course, do not cost anything until it is time to play them. All right, so my turn. I am going to not do any movement, actually, so I'm going to just skip along to the resources, where I'm going to get 1 insight for my villager in the Sacred Grove, 2 silver for my leader and villager that are in the market, and be able to draft a single card. I'm going to spend 3 silver, which is all of the silver I have, bring me all the way down to 0, to draft a thief. So the thief costs 3 silver. You have to have a minimum of 3 insight, which I do have. It has the war cry ability, which says you gain a silver and your opponent loses a silver, which means I'm going to go up to 1 silver and my opponent is going to go from 3 down to 2. And I'm going to be placing my thief straight into my market. And that's going to be it for my turn.
So, again, no start of turn effects.
Any movement?
I am going to leave everybody where they're at.
Okay.
So I'm going to collect my
1 insight
from my villager, my 2 silver from these 2 guys, and I'm going to draft the Hari Lurker.
Oh, he's a really good wall defender for sure.
1, 2, 3.
He seems to have thoroughly stopped you from trying to attack me for the moment. So.
Right, and I'm going to put him on the wall.
Oh, I see what's happening. Okay, very well done. Very well done. Are you all finished?
Yes.
Okay, so for my turn, I'm going to, again, also skip on ahead to my resource phase where I'm going to get 1 insight, bringing me up to a total of 5, as well as 3 silver now, bringing me all the way up to 4. I'm going to spend 2 of my silver, bringing me down to 2, to purchase a militia. Now, the militia has 1 attack, 2 defense. He has the ability retaliate and the ability to sacrifice my militia to give +2 armor to my leader until the end of the turn. And I'm going to place my militia directly up on the wall because I do fear that I might have an attack coming. That's going to be it for my turn.
I have no start effects.
Okay.
So I'm going to move. Leader's going up on the wall. Berserker's coming down.
Oh, interesting. So you are showing less aggression here. All about the defense.
I need to build up a little bit here. But I don't want to leave myself.
This is understandable.
Open. So that gives me my 1 insight. Still 2 silver. And with that, I am going to draft a card. And that's going to be, strangely, a militia. Which is all I could afford other than the...
He only costs 2, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's very affordable. Very affordable. Oh. And rather understandable for that matter.
Oh, wait a minute. No, I'm not going to get that.
Oh, who are you going to get?
I'm going to get the thief.
Oh, costs 3.
1, 2, 3.
And I will lose a silver while you will gain one. So you'll be back up to 1 silver.
Yes.
Okay.
And this super guy gonna go
up on the wall.
No, I don't have to defend with my leader if I don't have to.
Fair enough. Okay, my turn?
Yes.
All right, so let's see. I'm going to start with my movement. During my movement, I'm going to move my militia back to my homestead. Then I'm going to get my resources. I get 1 of the insight, which gets me all the way up to 6 insight now. I also get 3 silver, which gets me up to 4 silver total. Now I have 2 guys in the homestead, which means I get to take 2 cards. So I'm going to start by taking 1 of my prophecy cards into my hand, and then I'm going to draft a unit, which is going to cost me 2 silver. The unit I am drafting is the Witch. The Witch is going to go straight up onto the wall here. Now the Witch's ability says that she ignores her opponent's armor. She has 2 attack and 2 defense, and it's pretty freaking awesome if you ask me. Then I'm going to play the card that I just drafted. It is my second and final Smite card. Now it cost me 1 less because of anticipation, which means it only cost me 2. I'm now down to 0 silver. But that playing it gives me 1 insight, which means I'm now up to 7, count them, 7 insight, which actually means I can play any card out there. 7 is the highest requirement for any of the units. I'm going to do the 2 damage directly to your thief and knock them off of the wall, at which point I am done with my turn.
Going right into movement, I'm going to move the Hari Lurker into the battlefield. The leader goes to the
also the battlefield,
but his special place on the wall on the battlefield. I'm going to then gain my 1 insights and my 2
silver,
and I'm going to play Battle Knife, which costs me 3 insight. 1, 2, 3.
And what's that do?
Battle Knife gives me leader +2 attack.
Ooh,
when I kill a unit, it deal 1 damage to the opponent's leader.
Wow, that's brutal.
So I'm going to be attacking with both.
Okay. All right. So the Hari Lurker and your leader are attacking. Now, correct me. You have 2 dead guys, which the leader has normally a combat equal to the number of dead guys in the graveyard, right. Which means with the +2 from the...
He's 4.
He's got 4. 4 attack coming my way. Luckily, armor should save me here. Wow. Okay. So here's what I'm going to do. The Witch is going to block the Hari Lurker. I'm going to swap their sides. And my Hari Lurker is going to block your leader, which should keep him barely alive, but alive. All right. Let's see it happen.
So the Hari Lurker attacks your Witch.
And gets blocked, and I have 1 armor, so
0 damage.
So 0 damage.
The leader's going to cause 3 damage to your Hari Lurker.
Because of the 1 armor, yes.
Yes.
Okay, so the Hari Lurker is close to death, but also the Hari Lurker has Retaliate, which means I do 1 damage to your leader, but your leader has 1 armor because they're all still partially on the wall, and actually they have 2 armor.
Correct.
So I don't actually hurt them. So that's going to be it for that. Ooh, that was a kind of an unexpected, brutal attack. Ouch. Are you done?
Yeah, I have no end of turn ability, so yes, I'm done.
Okay. For my movement, I'm going to move my villager up to the homestead from the Sacred Grove. I'm going to move my Hari Lurker and my Witch down onto the battlefield because it's about to get hairy. So here we go. I am going to gain no insight, but I am going to still be gaining my 3 silver. Then I'm going to get to draft 3 cards. I've got 2 cards that I want to take specifically from my knowledge cards and put them into the Sacred Grove. For my 3rd card, I am going to purchase a unit. And for my unit, I'm going to buy my 2nd Witch, which is going to go straight up to onto the wall. Now I am going to play out my my knowledge cards that I have here. The first one is free, and it says once per turn I can pay 3 insight, and all my units will gain +1 attack until the end of the turn. That is the Warhorn. The other knowledge card costs 4 normally, but because of my rune inscription, it only costs 2, and it is poison. It says if a unit I control deals combat damage to an enemy unit, then it deals 1 additional combat damage. Then in the combat phase, I'm going to attack with both the Witch and the Hari Lurker.
Well, I'm going to defend the witch with my Hardy Lurker and defend the Hardy Lurker with my leader.
So we'll do a little like that to show it. So the leader is defending the witch.
I said the exact opposite.
Oh, exact opposite. My mistake. So sorry, the Hardy Lurker is defending the witch. I got all mixed up because of all the Hardy Lurkers in there.
So many Hardy Lurkers. So many Hardy Lurkers.
So many Hardy Lurkers. Okay, as a reaction to that, I am going to spend 3 insight to give +1 attack to all of my attacking units this round. So my Hardy Lurker is defended by the leader who has 2 armor. Even though he got +1 attack, it's not enough to get passed through the armor. So since he doesn't do any damage, he doesn't do any additional damage. The witch, though, now is going to do a total of 4 damage to Alex's Hardy Lurker, killing it completely.
Dead.
So because he has retaliated, he does do his 1 damage back to the witch as he dies. So we'll do the 1 damage to the witch. And I believe he also has an afterlife ability. Is that correct?
Yes, you may add a wound marker to a target unit with a wound marker, which then goes on that one.
All right, so you're going to finish off my Hardy Lurker. But you know what? I did a bunch of damage there, and it's okay. I don't mind the Hardy Lurker going at this particular juncture. Especially since I did manage to take out yours as well. Right. So there you have it. That is how you play a game of Feud the Seer's Prophecy. So now we're going to head back over. We're going to talk about how this game plays and how it feels, and we're going to rate it and review it.
Nice.
Welcome back. That was how you play a game of Feud the Seer's Prophecy. So that was actually the majority of the game. We finished that game. It didn't actually. It only went a few more turns. It was pretty quick after that. Actually,
maybe 3 more after that. Yeah.
It was because at that point I had gotten a good offensive going. Alex went back on the defensive, but yeah, it was. It was actually a really good game to show for this, which we did do it totally randomly. We did randomly set up what units and what spells and stuff we were using, but we just wound up some really good cards.
Like that just lended itself to an aggressive tactics.
It did.
The units and the cards were all very adding damage, adding.
Yeah, there were some cards we didn't use. Like there was one that let you get health back, and there was one that there was a prophecy card that let you take damage off a unit, but none of us had used it. We kind of, I think I leaned into the aggression pretty early, and then you just responded with more aggression, and we sort of cycled up from there. But it made a really good game to show because aggressive games have more going on and faster, which is a lot of fun.
We've played it where we've used. This one, I don't think we used half of the units that were available.
No.
But we've played games where we've used almost all of them.
Yes.
And that's actually a lot of fun. But since most of those units seem to be
very aggressive,
that there wasn't really a lot of... And they were expensive.
Well, you had Berserkers and Witches, which both are super aggressive units. They want to attack. They want to be attacking the enemy. So yeah, we did. It was just that it was the. There are much more defensive units. Like there's a unit where if you have them out in... the area that gives you the silver, they give you an extra silver. And like when you get that unit, you want to play more defensively because you just sort of want to defend yourself and get a lot of money built up real fast and get a lot of bigger guys. It definitely, the game, and we're getting ahead of ourselves. We didn't even go over any of the negatives. But the game definitely has a crazy amount of variety between different games.
Absolutely.
For each setup.
Yeah, and designed to be not only a lot of variety, but random as well.
Yes. Let me start with, I don't actually have any glaring negatives. Do you have any glaring negatives?
The only thing I had as a negative is before we figured out what that big wooden insert was for, because there is the stack of cards is massive, and you have to get in order to deal out the random units, you have to then find them and place them out on the board or the tavern. Before we had the
insert that organizes
the organizer set up, that was a pain. So that organizer makes it super easy.
Oh, much faster to set up and break down, which is really great.
Right.
Yeah, definitely a big plus. I agree with you on that. I'm also going to say, so my big one I already touched on a little bit, but the crazy variety, because there's a lot of cards in here, a lot of units, a lot of prophecies, a lot of knowledge cards, and you change which combinations of them you use every game. There are certain units and certain knowledge cards that you take every game, basic ones that you want to always have, and it's a smart idea to have them in, but the rest of them change out. So like out of the 12 units, there are 3 that you always have, which means you always have some basic cheap guys that you can just get out to help get you resources. The villagers, there's like a slightly bigger villager, I think, who has a different name. We didn't use him in this game.
And then the Norseman, I think.
Yeah, which is like a decent warrior unit.
General warrior. Yeah.
So you always have them, but then everything else changes from game to game.
Right.
Which actually, I think, because we've been playing it randomly, I think this is the first time the witch ever came up, and boy, was she brutal.
Yeah, I did not realize how powerful that unit was until it was too late.
Yeah, it's the ignoring the armor is what's so insane about her.
Right.
So good. Anyway, so crazy amount of variety. What's your next big positive?
I like the gameplay, the way it works. Like you said, it's got pretty large aspects of several different kinds of game mechanics.
Yes.
Like you said, a little bit of area control. I don't really think that's very important.
Okay.
Because you can just, it's not, you're not really controlling it. It just determines how you do your resources. I think is more of a...
It's just sort of like, it's not really area control. It's just sort of part of the engine building. Like you put the guys in the different areas to give you the different effects for the engine building.
So you got resources, you got engine building, you got the hand management, obviously. And then you've got the combat, which is I think really simple but interesting because there's so much that can go on because of the variety.
It's very streamlined.
Yeah, I like that setup. I like the game design is actually really... The
mechanics are very satisfying.
It took a combat card game and just added another dimension to it with all the other elements. So it's pretty ingenious.
So the designer actually contacted me over 3 years ago now. Originally, when they were first working on this, they told me they were a subscriber to the channel, liked our takes on a lot of games, and said, I'm working on a game. When it's ready, would you like to review it? And I was like, at the time, sure, no problem. And kind of almost forgot about it so long ago. Contacted me back recently that the game was almost ready to be done. I was like, oh, right, awesome. I remember that game. It looked really cool. There's some very interesting ideas. And then they sent it to me, and I feel like them being a subscriber, and they specifically requested, Joachim specifically requested that I review it with Alex. I feel like knowing what games we're into, either they knew that we specifically would really like their game, or maybe some of the games we liked might have had an influence on them designing it over the last 3 years. One way or another, I feel like they were inside my mind.
Yeah, I like to think that we influenced it, but I don't like to think that Joachim was in our minds. But it built a really... Yeah, almost like a bespoke game
for us.
For us, yeah.
This is so the kind of mechanics we love.
Yeah, and like I said, once we got past that setup thing, figuring out the organizer, I was all in.
It was definitely. So all right, my next big thing is I love the Neoprene playmats. So instead of boards, you have two big rollout playmats for the villages and a third one for the tavern. Yes, and they're great. They look great on the tabletop. They're very functional, and I really like how they feel and how they look. They're absolutely gorgeous. Big plus for me on that.
They actually hold the cards.
Yeah,
like a glossy cardboard play surface. Like the cards would kind of get slide around, and if you move your hand too fast, they can kind of blow away. Like that Neoprene actually holds them in place really well. I thought that was I didn't really fully appreciate that because you don't really notice it on a small board, but on a giant play surface like that really made a big difference. I thought that was a really good idea.
Your turn for a plus.
The design or the quality of the design. I can't believe this is a pre-production. Like I know this is how it's going to look when it's produced.
Yeah,
but the fact that this hasn't even been kickstarted yet,
it looks amazing.
This is what's in the box is it's a high-end, high-quality, produced game,
and worth it every penny. I don't know how much they're going to be charging. I feel like I want to say it's worth it at almost any cost, just because of how much I'm enjoying this game. But okay, now what is worth it for different people is going to vary. I do want to throw out as a recommend, even as much as we like the big chunky wooden organizer and how it organizes the cards, I feel like this is just a recommendation to the designer. Take it or leave it. But I do feel like you should offer a cheaper option without that organizer because it's not necessary to play the game. It does make it nicer, and it would be really nice to have the deluxe version with that for when you're playing the game. But I think it should be an option for a way to get a cheaper level on the Kickstarter. Just my 2 cents. If you're going to take something out to reduce cost, because that will not affect the game at all, I'd say make a cheaper version without the organizer. What are your thoughts on that?
I agree. I mean, if you have to omit one piece of it, but I would
still offer
I would not be so cavalier to get rid of it because I think that makes setup so much easier.
So you would if it was
I'd pay
like
the extra $15 or $20 to have that thing.
to have the wooden thing.
Yeah,
Okay.
just because
That's
if
fair.
you're going to play this often, like sorting through, unless you're going to get like 40 little Ziploc bags and put a card in each, a deck in each one of those, the organizer's really, really nice.
So if this is okay. Do you have any more big glaring positives you want to talk about with this, or?
No, I mean the Viking theme is kind of neat.
Yeah, I
it's
do
not
like the
necessary for gameplay, but it's a nice theme.
It could have been almost any kind of. It could have been medieval war, or it could have been feudal Japan. I mean, the theme is cool, but you could have done it with a different sort of time period. You could have even done like World War I and had it be trenches instead of fortresses.
Right? Yeah.
But the theme, the Viking theme, is a cool theme to put on this. But definitely, he could if this does well, he could totally re-implement it into other themes, same system, and do slight variations, units that do different effects and different abilities would totally work in this game system. The game system is where this thing shines the most, and it's I don't know if you can tell how we're gushing, but this game is great.
It's really good.
It's super awesome. All right, so bottom line, if anything we talked about sounds cool to you, back this Kickstarter when it goes up. Again, link in the description down below to the website where you can sign up for the email list. Now, I'm hoping to hold on to this copy. That's going to be up to Joachim. But if he lets me hold on to it, I'm hoping to do a full playthrough with Alex that we're going to do as a game report, maybe even a few of them around the time that the Kickstarter is going live, to try to bring some more attention to this, put those videos out there to help support the Kickstarter so we can send them out to the backers and such, put them up on his website or up on the Kickstarter when it goes live. But yeah, I love this game and I want to play it lots more. So yeah, I do want to keep this in the collection. All right, Alex, I'm going to let you go first on the rating unless you don't want to.
I will go first.
Okay, how many stars out of 10 are you going to give to Feud?
Feud gets a solid 9 stars from me. There's very few 10s, but this is a solid 9. This is even if you took the organizer away, I'd still give it a 9.
It's because the game is just so damn good.
I do like the organizer.
I'm also going to go 9 out of 10 stars. This is near perfect for me.
Okay.
There is really not much holding this back at all. It's overall, I think this is a phenomenal design. Absolutely phenomenal design. So well. Everything works so well together. Everything is so streamlined. So it feels like tight mechanics of clockwork gears. The way all the mechanics work together,
which is impressive considering how much there is. Like it could easily get away from you and become sloppy play, but it doesn't at all.
You can really tell that this game has been in development for years because of how well everything works together.
Right.
Even like we've played it with so many different groups of cards, and every time it's awesome in a different way. Sometimes it's very good about being defensive. Sometimes it's very good about being offensive. Sometimes it's all about generating cash.
Right. Well, there may be some cards in there that are like game kind of ending cards, but you really have to work up to it.
Yeah, there's some brutal stuff. But there you have it. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns either on this video or on the game of Feud, the Seer's Prophecy, feel free to ask them in the comments down below. And if you enjoyed this review and tutorial and you'd like to see us do more like it, be sure to give it a like, share it on all forms of social media, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the Board Game Captain. That's Captain spelled with a K on YouTube. And until next time, game on.